Welcome everyone to Meditation Mount, and we overlook the Ojai Valley in Southern California. And so glad that you have joined us for this full moon meditation in the solar sign of Aries, with a full moon in Libra. So we're gathered online with our global community for this ritual of planetary service. And let's begin as we normally do by just becoming present in the here and now, to ourselves, to each other, and seeing each one of us as part of this great chain of hearts, connected heart to heart to heart. And together, as we come into this unified field, we form a receptive space, a group chalice, in which we can receive the blessings of the full moon meditation, and then use that chalice to pour out these blessings to the world. So let's become aware that we are standing as a group with other groups around the world. Many people are gathered at this time for the full moon meditation, and so we stand as representatives of the overlighting soul of humanity. So let's bring ourselves to an inner space where we sense this reality of the one soul of humanity. And we sense the reality of the realm of the soul. This is the realm of realized and embodied wisdom within the planetary life that, like the sun, simply radiates love and light as its natural expression. So, joined with other groups to form a planetary heart, we invite the presence of a greater love to enter and to fill us with its fiery grace. Thank you. So this is the beginning of a new zodiacal year, and therefore it's a good time to remind ourselves of why we meditate together at the full moon. As we've said before, it actually has nothing to do with the moon itself. We're not meditating on the moon. At the time of the full moon, the sun, the moon, and the earth are in complete alignment, so that the light of the sun is reflected to earth by the whole face of the moon, so that the maximum light reaches us from our source of life, the sun, which, in the words of the Gayatri, an ancient prayer, is described as that being from whom all things proceed and to whom all things return. So it's a time of deep alignment. So this direct and unobstructed alignment between Earth and the Sun really corresponds to the unobstructed and direct relationship we're seeking to achieve between soul and personality in our own individual lives, between the soul and its incarnated vehicle, the personality. So at the time of the full moon, there is the spiritual equivalent of a line of sight between these two heavenly bodies that allows for a deeper relationship. And the ageless wisdom teaching tells us that during this period there's an increased magnetic potency, and it's when the planetary life is in deepest meditation and at its place of highest contact with the solar life, because Earth is a sentient being and it's part of a nested reality, a nested universe of lives. Therefore it meditates and aligns with a greater enfolding life, which is the solar life. And the solar life in turn is in alignment and is seeking to enter into a greater field, be that the galaxy. So everything is contained in everything. It's a nested universe. So really at the time of the full moon, we're aligning with this boundless source of creation, this endless chain of being. It's our way of being part of this great chain. And as we mentioned before, it's an opportune time for strengthening the working relationship between the human realm, which technically is called the fourth kingdom, and with the realm of the soul, which we refer to as the fifth kingdom. And the fifth kingdom, this realm of the soul, is really a more refined dimension where those who fully embody the qualities of the soul reside. So this fifth realm can be considered as the realm of postgraduate humans. And it will be our home in time as we evolve and as we raise our frequencies and expand our level of consciousness. So everything is in evolution, everything is in motion, everything is expanding. We are part of this continuous evolution of life. And at the time of the full moon, we can consciously participate in this movement. As I said, today is the first of the year, and it's the first of the three major festivals that kick off this year. So the three major festivals are really Easter, Wesak, and Festival of Goodwill, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So the new cycle always begins in the solar sign of Aries, and it's called the Festival of Resurrection. And resurrection, as we know, is the rebirth and rising up of life from the deep darkness of winter. It's the triumph of life over death, and it marks the continuous and cyclical regeneration of forms. Things die, things are reborn. So this disappearance, reappearance, death, and resurrection is this continuous cycle of the form life, whereas the indwelling life remains as a constant. So today's full moon in the solar sign of Aries is known as the moon of rebirth and liberation. And it honors both the festival of Easter in the Christian tradition, as well as the beginning of Passover in the Jewish tradition, which celebrates the liberation from slavery and the journey of rebirth. We're also celebrating Ramadan, which is the ninth month of the Islamic calendar, observed by Muslims around the world as a time of fasting, prayer, reflection, and community. So there are many religions, many faiths, many people who at this time are deepening their awareness and relationship with the inner life. So this is a very potent time. And as I just mentioned, the second of these three major festivals will be held next month in the sign of Taurus, and we refer to it as the Festival of Wesak. This is when the blessings of light from the cosmos are brought to earth by the Buddha. And then the third and final festival in this series occurs in the sign of Gemini, and it's called the Festival of Goodwill. So here we are in Aries. So let's remind ourselves of the astrological energies and opportunities available at this time. So Aries has three ruling planets, and we'll start by naming the exoteric or outer ruler, which is Mars, which is a sixth ray. So that's why you have this fiery, strident energy of Mars. The esoteric or inner ruler is Mercury, fourth ray. And Mercury always brings things from the invisible to the visible. It's this mercurial messenger that connects heaven and earth. So it's a way of bringing new seeds, new ideas in. And the hierarchical ruler is Uranus, which is the seventh ray. Now the fire sign of Aries, because Aries is a fire sign, is the birthplace of divine ideas. And it marks the start of the calendar, as we've said, and it affirms the never-ending process of creation. So we go through the seasons in nature. When we are in our garden, we go through winter, spring, summer, fall. And in the heavenly cycle, we go through a passage around the 12 constellations, around the wheel of the zodiac. So here in the northern hemisphere at this time, Aries is associated with spring and the festival of Easter because it transmits the energies of resurrection and rebirth. And resurrection is always preceded by death. Death, rebirth. Appearance, disappearance, reappearance. So let me just quote something from the Alice Bailey writings that talks about the power of resurrection. And this is what it says. This is from Raise and Initiation, page 470. Resurrection is the clue to the world of meaning, and it is the fundamental theme of all the world's religions, past, present, and the future. Resurrection of the spirit in humanity in all forms, in all kingdoms, is the objective of the entire evolutionary process and involves liberation from materialism and selfishness. So resurrection guarantees that we don't get stuck in matter, that death is a liberator, and then we're reborn into a form that is a greater expression. So the form that comes next is like a more refined form, and then that dies and something new is born. So this continuous spiral of life that leads us upwards. And this is what it says in this same paragraph. During the coming century, the meaning of resurrection will be unfolded and the new age will reveal its true significance. As humanity emerges from the death of old ideas and modes of living, relinquishing its materialistic goals and its damning selfishness, it will move into the clear light of the resurrection life. Now, we all can have our own interpretations of that. My sense is that once we have gone through the resurrection, we can utilize matter, but we're not bound to matter. We're not stuck in matter, so that when matter has to be let go of, we don't die with it. So standing in the clear light of the resurrection of life, as the Tibetan just mentioned, is really standing in this place where we can be continuously regenerated with no fear of death. And all that we have is this deep desire to continue to express and reveal more of the truth of who we are and more of the truth of who the spirit of humanity is. So I'd ask you now, at this time of rebirth and resurrection in spring, what are you sensing in your life? Is there something new that's stirring and waiting to sort of appear? And wherever you live in the world, what's showing up in nature that tells you, particularly in the northern hemisphere? I know our colleagues in the southern hemisphere are in a different time. They're in the fall, they're in autumn. But here in the northern hemisphere, what are we noticing? At Meditation Mount, for instance, the ginkgo tree has just leafed, the one outside the meditation room. And these signs of spring are all around. There's a profusion of newly opened flowers in our garden. And then today, while on my morning walk, I could tell the first hint of that rich fragrance of orange blossom that gets carried up on the breeze from the surrounding citrus groves. And then there's the scent of the jasmine from our garden. And it's sort of overwhelming. You're really aware of this new lease of life. Nature is celebrating. So this experience of spring is the stirring of new life. And it brings joy. It brings a sense of gratitude to the soul. And so springtime is a sign of hope. It's a time to celebrate the spirit of resurrection that is so evident in nature. And I think it's good to keep this in mind, because at the moment we're surrounded by things that are dying, and we don't always see the new shoots, the new possibilities, the spring that is happening, the spiritual spring that is arising now as the old forms die. And the Tibetan teacher continues by explaining, there is no idea more cultivated subjectively by humanity than that of the resurrection. When life seems difficult and circumstances carry in them no grounds for happiness, and when nothing calls to one of such a nature that one goes forth happily to the day's enterprises, and when the nights of sleep are haunted nights, the thought of rising up and out of all these circumstances, of leaving all behind and of entering into a new life, carries with it strength and hope. So hope springs eternal. I know that wasn't what it really means in English, but it is the eternal hope that is in spring. Hope springs eternal. And then just to complete the quotation from the Tibetan, he says, there have been many deaths within the aeonial life cycle of humanity, lots of appearances and disappearances and reappearances. And in fact, this process of constant death, followed by constant resurrection, is the evolutionary keynote and the evolutionary technique of all nature, symbolically portrayed in the annual progress of the 4 seasons, in the cycles of day and night, and in the wonder of the emergence of beauty and color, or useful function, out of a seed which has struggled because of its inherent life into the light of the sun. And I guess that's where the hope is, that the form may die, but the spirit persists. The spirit prevails. So let's affirm the fact that this fire sign of Aries embodies the will to create, because it's this time of creativity, of new seeds coming in. And this will to create finds expression eventually in the will to good. So everything that we create, eventually we offer it in service to our world, the will to good, which is the active aspect of goodwill. Goodwill is the kind-heartedness and the willingness to help. The will to good is the power to go about that. So each of the signs of the zodiac has a spiritual keynote. And in Aries, it's I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. So what does that mean, I come forth? The way that I see it is when the soul has fully incarnated, when it fully occupies its earthly vehicle, it then takes control, takes hold of the steering wheel. And the steering wheel really is the higher mental plane, our mental faculty. And when this, together with the loving heart, is in charge of the vehicle, then we're driving in the right direction and we don't crash. So when I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule, it simply means that the soul governs the outer form, that we're not pulled off track by materialism. So this is a time in Aries when the fiery seeds of heaven are present, and seeds always hold the promise of things to come. And as we know, the only way to show what's inside the seed is when it's sown and grown in the Garden of Gaia. Each of us are divine seeds planted in the Garden of Gaia. Inside of each one of us is a fiery promise. And the only way to show what that is to dare to be born and reborn, and dare to enter the fields of time and space and substance and reveal the beauty that lives at the heart of who we are. So this is Aries. It's a very fiery time. So holding this promise of new beginnings alive in our heart, let's take a few deep, gentle breaths to take it all in. And then Diana now will lead us in our meditation.
Thank you, Michael. And happy birthday, Meditation Mount. Today it's Meditation Mount's birthday. In this conversation about rebirth and being born and the fiery seeds of Aries. Meditation Mount is an Aries. So it's that new energy, and everything Michael was speaking of is embodied in this place. And tomorrow we're going to be doing an exact time meditation at Meditation Mount in person, and also doing a new peace poll at the Mount. So it's going to be really powerful. And these are powerful times, as you all know. So it's good to keep your center, as we keep reminding each other to do right now as things are moving so quickly. And as we move into this time of Aries, which is the first of the three spring festivals, this is the first impulse. Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, rules the head, right? That first impulse that's coming through, and it comes through abstractly. So when we do our meditation in a moment, we're going to really work in the field that is abstract versus specific. And to be as wide open, if you could open your satellite dish, if you can imagine at the crown of your head, like an aperture there, like a camera has, that it just unfolds and opens, that you're wide open to that abstract impulse of the divine plan unfolding through us, through each of us, as vehicles for the divine plan to move through, we being the seeds of that divine plan on earth. And so I'll guide us through that and work with that abstract energy that in the next full moon, in the Wesak, which is the most powerful moon of the whole year, where it comes into form, the earth sign Taurus, right? So from Aries, the fiery seed of newness coming through now on this full moon, being planted in a sense. And then in the Wesak, being grounded, anchored, realized. So here we are on this big important full moon. They all are. It's so wonderful, to meditate together like this, to be impulsed together, where we work together as a group, as a unified field of group energy to hold this bigger chalice than we can hold by ourselves. We hold a group chalice for the many to join in. And the many is more than even that are here right now. There are all the meditators around the world that are meditating in these full moon pulses, which we're part of. And so we can ground it here in Ojai at Meditation Mount in Los Angeles, where I am, and wherever you are around the planet. So it gets very, very powerful. So I think that's what I want to say. And I want to spend time inside the meditation to work with that abstract energy, that light, that light. So let's begin by organizing ourselves and our bodies, organizing your physical body by a breath, and taking a breath to feel your body come, your physical body, come into peace. So as you exhale, peace in my body. And these are those first steps into meditation deep, where in some moments we will spend in the silence 10 minutes about just holding in that abstract field, but first physically relaxing into the peace of this moment in yourself, within yourself. And as you take another breath, balancing the emotional body, whatever stirring or roiling these days, right? Reacting, responding, lots of emotional energy out there. And use your breath to bring your emotional body also into peace. Peace in my emotional body. And then finally, and most importantly, bringing the mind into peace. So the mind becomes still. The mind becomes witness. The mind quietens with a relaxed attention. And on a breath, just feeling the mind now coming to peace, peace in my mind. Om. In the moment that you say that phrase, feel a deepening of relaxation and peace in the physical body, in the emotional body, in the mental body. That creates a sound platform by which the consciousness can open. And you take your seat now in the heart of the head center, inside the cave, within the heart of mind. And take your seat, your position as conscious soul. And the moment that you do, the crown chakra opens and you can feel the overlighting presence of the soul. Om. And as you begin to go into this space now, enter this space of brand new awareness. New awareness. Sense a point of light. That grows brighter and brighter, as if it's speeding towards you or you're speeding towards it. That all in this elegance of natural resonance, light, and see if you can then enter the space of this light, of this living consciousness, of divine mind, divine intelligence, of divine design, that fiery light, electrical light of pure awareness. And as you are in this sensing, breathing through your third eye, inhaling in light, exhaling light, inhaling light, exhaling light. Inhaling light. And within that light, sense the higher notes of the masters that are holding with us and teachers, and those pure vibrations that move through these step down energies that we can touch as we lift up and they reach down. We have connection, light to light, through the heart of the Christ, through the heart of Shambhala, through the heart of the sun, to the heart of Sirius. Abstract light And just allowing this light to infuse you, becoming one with this light. I am light in form. I am light in form. And within the heart of this light, sense this surprising nuance of joy. Vibrating with joy, vibrating with light, becoming one with this light, with this joy within it. Joy is a special wisdom. Light, light, stepping into it. Joy, light, joy. This is a very advanced practice. Step up. Light. And as we move into the silence, into this abstract light, for this first touchdown of these new energies, we'll use this seed thought in the silence. But remember, in the background, humming, oming in the background, light, light, joy, light, light. So our seed thought for the silences, clear and strong. I see, I know, I recognize. Clear and strong. I see, I know, I recognize. light. Letting this light permeate every atom of your being. Light with this quality, this gem of joy. Light. Breathing it in through the third eye now. Inhaling light. Exhaling light. Feeling the ajna center awakening. Sending this light out into the world. This intelligent light out into the world. This heart light out into the world. This divine consciousness out into the world. Like waves and waves of light, of blessings to our earth and all beings. And in these next days and hours, when the moon is full at 5:22 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, working with this energy as it continues to come through, organizing through this vehicle, through our group chalice, through our group awareness, to hold so much light. Our blessings to all beings. All blessings to all beings. Om. And we'll, as we allow this meditation to become us, light upon light, light to light, infused with this divine light. We'll use the great invocation to anchor this meditation, remembering that the great invocation is a mantra, very powerful. followed by 3 ohms. From the point of light, within the mind of God, let light stream forth into all human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love, within the heart of God, let love stream forth into all human hearts. May the coming one return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills. The purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Thank you for holding this complex, profound light energy together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dia. So resurrection, appearance, disappearance, reappearance. It's the guarantee of continuous revelation of life. That's the beauty of spring. It's a reminder that there is no death. There is the passing away of form. So with all the energies that we've gathered, in our group chalice, we've collected these fiery energies of new possibilities for ourselves, for the planet. And we're filled with inspiration and hope. And we keep them safe. We safeguard them inside the group heart. And we're going to send them forth as a blessing to the world, because everything we receive from life, we give it out again. This continuous recycling, upcycling. So from the mind held steady within the embrace of the compassionate heart, we will now send out our blessings to the world in 3 waves with a mantra at the sounding of the Tibetan singing bowl. We'll do this 3 times. May the fire of love be ignited within every human heart and become a blazing beacon of light and hope in the darkness. We send out the second wave. May the fire of love be ignited within every human heart and become a blazing beacon of light and hope in the darkness. And our final group blessing. May the fire of love be ignited within every human heart and become a blazing beacon of light and hope in the darkness. So now, more than ever, particularly this year, 2025, when things are falling apart and new things are emerging, let's ask that a new spiritual blossoming occur on earth in the Garden of Gaia as a result of the spirit of resurrection, this pulse of renewal that pulses in our hearts, pulses throughout all of nature. And may we reveal this new blossoming in our lives through our every thought, word, and deed each day. So thank you, everyone, for your presence and your participation today in this meditation. And on behalf of Diana and Joey, who is producing everything behind the scenes, and myself, deep gratitude for showing up and being part of life. So from Meditation Mount, we bid you farewell, and we look forward to meditating with you next month at the Festival of Wesak. So blessings to all beings. Namaste.